Today, I'm going to show you a small compact bag that can be used around the house for any little projects that may come up. It's perfect for when you need just the right tool. It's also a good idea for hobbies and any other special projects you may come up with. This is the Rough Enough tool bag. Hello everybody, this is Lamar with MF and Research, and today I've got the Rough Enough tool bag. Rough Enough sent it out to me. They asked me to take a look at it. Funny thing is, it's actually been in my Amazon cart for about 2 or 3 months because I actually had my eye on it for another reason, but it just kind of worked out. No money changed hands. They just asked me to give my honest opinion of it, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a look at the specs and the features. We'll take a look at it, see who I think it's best for, see what I like, see what I think might need to be improved, and then just go from there. So now let's take a look at the tool bag. Let's take a look at the specs. Let's take a look at the layout. So we'll just start from the outside. It's 1000D Cordura. It's got Duraflex buckles on the outside, and it's got YKK zippers around here and on there and on the inside. Usual Rough Enough fare. It's got loops on the front. It says Molly in the description, but that's not really Molly to me, and we'll talk about that later. It's got a spot where you can put your personal information or your contact information. The Duraflex buckles are right here. There's one on each side. The handle is riveted on. There's nothing back here. There are 2 loops on the back. I just threw one of the Rough Enough carabiners right there. You can hook stuff there, or you can hook it to things there. On the bottom, you've got these rubber feet. It keeps it from sliding, and it keeps it pretty much in place. If there's a little bit of water on the ground or sand or uneven surface, this holds to it pretty good. So I do like this part. So now you've just got a front pocket over here, Rough Enough stickers that they usually send you with their stuff. And it's just a plain pocket, no other pockets in here or anything like that. It says that there's 10 pockets. I only count 9. I guess you count 10 with the main compartment. So let's take a look at that. Oh, mentioning the handle does have nice stitching and is riveted in for extra reinforcement, so that's nice and sturdy. And now let's open both sides up, and then let's go into the main bag. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of think of it as kind of mirrored on the front. There's a nice webbing here to provide extra support. There's fabric here to keep everything in here. There's 2 pockets. They're kind of that same tarpaulin lining, just like in here, and they fit pretty close to it. They're starting to break in a little more as I've used it, but they are pretty tight to the bag. The bag is padded. There's a nice frame, if you will, right here, and then there's padding on this side. A little bit more padding here than here, just to show you. That's the top, that's the bottom, so that kind of makes sense where there's more padding here. You can almost see the difference in the padding right there. And so there's 2 grab handles right here. This side is mirrored to this side, so 2 zipper mesh pockets right here, and then the 2 flat pockets on each side, and then just the working area right here in the middle. So if you count the main compartment as 1 pocket, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pockets. So this is how it's laid out. I really enjoy the double handles. You can kind of carry it like this and move it from place to place as you're working it. You see a lot of suitcases that do that. I really like that idea for this guy. So if you have it loaded up, you don't have to close it up to move and worry about everything falling over. This is nice and high. These gussets, they keep it covered. So I think it's a pretty good layout. So now the dimensions, it's 10.5 inches this way. It's 13 inches this way. And then when you look at it closed up, we'll just close it halfway. It's 5.2 by 5.2. So this is where everything holds up. What I usually do is load everything in this side, load everything in the pockets, close it this way, zip it up, and then just let it fall down. That's usually what works for me. Whatever you want to do is fine, but that's how I usually load this guy out. So that's what it looks like on the front again. We'll show you the top, the back, the bottom, the side, the other side. It does say that it has a carry capacity of 100 pounds. I don't see you ever getting that close to that weight. I think how I had it loaded up with the tools, I think the most I could get out of it was 10 pounds, maybe 15. So before we go into the sample loadout, let's talk about what makes this guy a little bit different from like your regular tool bags that you'll see out there. I think the size, the compact nature, the way that you can open it flat and it kind of creates a staging station for your tools, I do like that. My old tool bag that I use in the garage right now, the thing about it is you kind of got to reach in and it doesn't really lend itself to working out of the bag. And depending on where you are, like if you're putting together a ceiling fan or something like that, you can kind of put this on top and have all your tools laid out and you don't have to worry about anything. So now let's take a look at a sample loadout. One of the things I like to do, even when I'm not going to use a bag for its design purpose, is just show those out there that might be looking for something like this what it's actually intended or what the manufacturer intended for this particular product to do. So what I did was built it based on something along the same lines of my Data Crew water slider kit that I keep on my desk in the garage. And what this would be, if I were going to use it this way, and the way I have it kitted out, is it would sit in the house and it would just be for those small little projects where I don't need to bring the full complement of tools out. I've just got some basic tools. So let's, without further ado, take a look at what I have in here. So first off, I've got these loops on the outside. I've got them loaded with just my Sulfuran flashlight. I've got a couple pliers on here on the outside. One thing, I probably wouldn't keep them on there permanently. I would only put those on the outside. Maybe the flashlight I'll leave on the outside, but I'd only keep those out there as I'm actually working on a task. So they'd be right there, easily available, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. One thing I will say, just leaving them out there when they're not in use, you gotta be careful holding the bag. So now let's go into the front zipper compartment and take a look at what's in there. So in here, I've just got some safety glasses and a pair of gloves. And that's really it. I left the stickers in here, so they're still there. I didn't take those out. And now, got to unbuckle these two clips. And there's no, again, pockets on the outside or anything like that. There's just two loops there. And then I put a carabiner there, like I said. And so now, let's go into the main guy and just show you the tools that I put in here. So again, it opens just like this. You can see everything that I have in there. It's pretty obvious what I have in here. And as we go through some of this, you'll see some of the issues and we'll talk about those in some of the areas where I think it can improve. So I'll just start from the left and then work my way all the way this way. So I've got a clamp right here. Nothing fancy. I'm gonna go through these quick because we don't really need to spend a lot of time. They're tools, you know what tools do. If you don't, there's better videos out here than this one that'll walk you through how to use those tools. I just wanna do this to give you an illustration of what you can do with this guy outside of how I'm gonna use it. You got another adjustable clamp, tape measure, stud finder. This thing is really old, by the way. A lot of these tools I really don't even use anymore. These are some of my older tools that I just dug out from an old toolbox. Some of it when I first got my first place. So they're really old. I probably won't throw them out just because they represent me being an adult and maybe not buying the best tools, but buying some tools to do the job. So wire cutters, a level, a little handsaw, the last blade I have left. And that's one thing, we'll talk about that too a little bit later. I really wish it would have been able to fit in one of these pockets nice and comfortable. It fits okay, but getting it out gets to be a pain in the butt. And anything longer than this one, any blades longer than this one, really wouldn't fit. A screwdriver, a hammer, and then a little pry bar. And I said I was gonna go through the left, but I forgot to get the pocket, so let's get those now. Just a couple assorted sockets, just to handle certain things. And then a couple bits. just some assorted bits. Some cable ties because I forgot to grab some zip ties. So cable ties or zip ties would work just fine. And this guy is a little hand ratchet. This guy fits in a lot of small places and it's on a bit of a gimbal, so you can kind of rotate it out. This is usually what I'm using when it's time to put any furniture together or anything like that. Got some Allen wrenches, and I think I only put one set in there. And then here, this is one of those little guys you get when you've got a stripped screw and you need to get back that bad boy out. Comes in handy. And then these, I put these in here because I just wanted to talk about these. I love these things. I use these guys to hang up all my pictures in my walls and stuff like that. Any of the pictures that you see out here in my office upstairs, I use these guys to hang them up. You don't need any tools. You just push this guy in, use these to line it up, use your level, and get a picture hung up in less than a few minutes. So definitely love these guys. If you haven't seen these, I probably won't put most of the stuff on the table in the description, but I am going to put a link to these in the description just because I think they're perfect. These are the 15-pound ones. They go up to, I think, 25 and 40 pounds, and then I think they go as low as 15 pounds. If you got some pictures to hang up, I recommend these. They're easy. Now it's switched up. It's now loaded out for the reason I got this thing. This is the reason why it was actually on my Amazon wish list for a few months, even before Rough Enough contacted me. So I was actually considering this guy. I was gonna wait until the rest of the stuff for the kit came, but I'm sure a fraction of the world out there that's interested in EDC and EDC gear is gonna also care about Gundam model kit stuff. So I figured I'd go over it real quick. I'm not even gonna take everything out. I'm just gonna show it to you just so you can see an alternative use and we'll move on. So in the front, I just have the quick access things. So these are the things I use. If I'm just trying to have a quick session, I can just go right in here and not have to touch anything else in the main part of the bag. Opening it up, I can make this portable. One of the things I want to do is take my cutting mat, score it on the bottom, and fold it over. So hopefully what'll happen is I can fit it in here and make it portable. I'm not gonna work from here, could just transport that a little easier. So I've got sanding sticks here. I've got files and little mini screwdrivers and extra hobby knife blades in there. I've got markers in there, or paint markers. I've got decals and stuff right there. I've got more markers here, more markers here. I've got tweezers and a file right here. Alcohol wipes, microfiber towels, things like that are right there. The little desk vacuum, this is where this is going, so it'll sit right here. This is an attachment for the vacuum. It just goes just like that. Little ruler, another filing stick, stuff like that. Toothbrush, I think I got from the dentist. Paintbrushes. So there's more stuff I want to get to fill this out. Right now, this is just all the space that it takes right here. So I've still got plenty of space in here to do everything I need to do in here. So I'm gonna put a couple paints, some masking tape, all kind of stuff is in here. So this is a nice little portable hobby kit type tool bag or something like that. So if you got any hobbies that require small tools, I think this is a good fit for that. Hey, I hope you're liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, comment with any gear reviews you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to MF for Research. Any support helps grow my little small corner of the EDC community. Now back to the video. So now let's talk about some of the things that I like now that I've spent some time with it. So I really enjoy the material, just like Rough Enough. They use Cordura, they got Duraflex buckles, there's rivets. A lot of the material is well made, it's constructed, there's double and triple stitching, so durability I don't think is ever going to be a question. I really like this compact shape. I think it's going to definitely work in a whole bunch of areas. How I plan on using it, I think it's going to be perfect for that. Because I'm going to use it on my desk, I don't think it'll look out of place when it's sitting on my desk. And then I like the interior handles. You can move it from place to place, wherever you need to go, without having to close up, pack up shop, and go back out. So now let's talk about some of the areas where I think this bag can improve. Given the weight and the maximum allowable weight, this little handle right here, I worry about it if it's any heavier. I don't think it'll fail or anything like that, but I don't think it's gonna be comfortable moving this thing. So I would beef this handle up You can do that yourself with like some paracord or any of the little handles that you can buy aftermarket, but that'd be something to consider on this guy as well. One thing, and I left the bag empty just so I could show some of this stuff, is I wish the mesh pockets, I wish they were either a little bigger or stretchy just to give you a little more space. That's something that I think would help you out a little bit when dealing with this guy. Just give me a little more in here because these get tight and you can take advantage of that space, especially the pocket that hangs out on top, because everything's gonna fall to the bottom right here and you'll have a little extra space up here, so you won't have to worry about clearance issues. So I think that's something, at least on one of the sides, I think you could definitely do. Speaking on the inside, while the two sides are identical, I kind of wish that maybe this ditch was knocked out and this was just one continuous pocket. I could go that way with this one too, but at least this slip pocket, I would like that to be one continuous pocket. You can make them both and make it nice and make it asymmetrical, but you know, some people like symmetry. I get it. So that's just me. That's just something that I see. So now that we're back on the front, let's talk about the next thing I think that they could improve. So this guy, you can put your tools in here. Like I said before when I was going through it, I don't think I leave my tools exposed out here just when transporting, just because that creates a small hazard. What I would have preferred is maybe make these flat, more like traditional MOLLE looks, or make these elasticized. Having them sit like this makes it real prescriptive. Some things that I had either were too big or too small to fit in these loops. Making some changes to this area would give me a little more flexibility here. Or I could even, if it's actual MOLLE, I could attach my own pouch right there, or do something like that to give me a little more added functionality. I'd feel a little more comfortable about putting, say, pins and Sharpies and things like that that wouldn't be so jagged out here. And the last thing that I think I'd recommend is these clips right here. They don't really do anything. They don't really lock it in place or anything. They're more aesthetic than anything. In the Amazon video, they use them as a handle. My recommendation would be to either remove them altogether, because I don't think you need this and this. To me, it's more of a style consideration, or take them and move them back here, because then you could do something like attach them to the headrest in a car, or you could just attach them anywhere, or move these up and give me some attachment points so I can hang it in my car or hang it, you know, on a ladder or just wherever you can think of. Just hang it up on some hooks. It gives you a little more flexibility to use it hanging up. You could even kind of treat it like a pouch, if you will, and say you didn't want to open the whole bag flat, open it just like this, work out of this piece, hang this up, and you could do that if you just need to grab something. Thinking about who I think this bag is right for, they either fall into one or two camps to me. One is the camp that has small tools that they want to keep in a compact space that they can use. That's the camp I fall in. The second use would be those that want a tool bag that doesn't take up a lot of space. One of the things I thought about is maybe picking up one of these guys from a motorcycle for like a travel trip or something like that. I wouldn't use it all the time, but it could fit right in my motorcycle suitcase and I could do that. Or in the back of the car, something for like a car get out of trouble kit, your portable tire inflator, some flashlights, some glow sticks, a battery jumper, just those things that keep you out of trouble in a pinch. Or something like a small house or an apartment or even a dorm since school's starting back up. So that's it for the Rough Enough tool bag. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you're thinking about picking one up. Let me know if you have any questions about the bag. I'd be happy to help you in the comments with those. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. There's some videos on the screen you might want to take a look at if you're interested in more of my content. I'm Lamar with MF and Research, and I'm out.